Hello my dear YouTuber friends, and I do hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. This is Back to Basics Part 22, the importance of practicing landings. Should go without saying, before you practice other advanced procedures, autopilots and goodness knows what, you want to make sure that you can land your aircraft correctly at familiar and unfamiliar airports and runways. Obviously, it's easy enough to get up in the air and start flying. The tricky part comes when it comes to landing the aircraft. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my hints and tips of how to practice landings, correct approaches, and what aircraft you should be practicing in, that type of thing. With the hope, especially for new players who are having trouble with their landings, with the hope that this will help you become more proficient with your landings, whether you're flying solo or in multiplayer. Let's hope this video will help you. Okay, so let's not dilly-dally. Let's get on with this video. Okay then, so my first tip would be to get into one of the default starter aircrafts like the 172 or the 152 you can see here. One of the starter aircraft, they're easy to fly and relatively easy to land. If you're practicing landings, become proficient in these aircraft first before you start moving on to your more advanced payware aircraft. You can come to them later once you know what you're doing. Also fly in familiar locations. I'm obviously at London City, or flying over London City, lining up with London City Airport, or as people call in my Discord, Hoddesdon International. Just a joke that's going around. I know where to find London City wherever I am. It's very familiar with me, and as you'll see at the moment, it even has pappy lights. I'll come onto them in a moment. Also, it's quite useful, I'm using Flow to do this, but have a button set up for toggle active pause, or you can just go up to your main menu if you've got it enabled. From now on, I'm going to start leaving videos, review videos, links to these in the description, just so it doesn't take your mind off this video. Active pause just lets you pause the sim, of course, so you can start to reconfigure yourself. To set up, especially in this case for landings. With the Cessna 172 and 152, on the speed ribbon, here it's dials of course, you'll see a white line. I want to be on that in that white line, ideally when I'm going into my approach to the airport, and before I start deploying flaps. You want buttons set up for increase and decrease flaps. It will increase and decrease flaps in stages. Have a couple of buttons set up for them on your controller. But yeah, keep an eye on this white line. I know it's around 80 knots. So if I get to 80 knots, I can start deploying flaps safely, and I'm at a good speed for an approach to the airport. Okay, let's unpause that and let's line up now. Oh, got an update available for Flow, but I shall do that later. I'm just going to decrease my speed now, probably to about half throttle. And if I need to, I'll start trimming as well. I'm going to leave my Back to Basics playlist in the description as well. So if you haven't seen them and you're wondering what I'm talking about with trimming, you can go and watch my trimming video in the Back to Basics series. A little bit high. You want to be also around about 1,000 feet if you're flying the Cessna 172, 152, around about 1,000 feet above the runway when you're coming into your approach. I really need to slow my speed down now because I want to start getting to my flaps. There we go, I'm slowing down nicely, using a little bit of trim to keep myself level. So I'm not descending or climbing. And there we go, that's not bad. Let's just active pause that while I show you something. You will see, can we see them yet? yeah, you can see the PAPI lights here. Try and choose a runway with PAPI lights when you're practicing landings. If they're all showing red like this, it means I'm too low. I need to climb a little. I want on my approach 2 white to come in here and 2 red. And I want to hold that until I'm over the runway. So 2 white and 2 red means that I'm at the perfect altitude for an approach to that runway. Once you practice that and you've got that down, you can land short if you want to, or long. But ideally, if you see PAPI lights, try and line them up so it's 2 white, 2 red. If it's all red, I'm too low. If it's all white, I'm too high. So let's keep that in mind as I'm approaching this runway. Oh. Let's just trim up a little bit there. There we go, that's better. And once you've trimmed up, leave trim alone. We'll be controlling our descent by our throttle. And ideally, have your, something I didn't mention there, have your weather preset. Let's just pause it again. On some, I've got it on scattered clouds, clear day, something like that. If you put it on live weather, you're going to be bumping around a lot because of the thermals that Microsoft have added with the Cessna 172, 152 and other aircraft. So have it on one of the easier presets. Scattered clouds gives you a few clouds and it's not too bumpy. It's good. I'm at stage 1 flap speed, so I'm gonna increase my flaps to stage 1. Watch out for the flare. Just push your nose down. I'm not trimming now. I'm still a bit too low. So just let the aircraft... I'm at a good trim. But I'm just letting the aircraft... There we go. I can see 1 light. Just keep it level so you can see 1 light come in, 2 lights come in. Now I can start decreasing my throttle. And that will drop the nose of the aircraft. A bit too high at the moment, so I'm dropping my speed. I'm going to put in a second stage of flaps while I'm doing that. Watch for the flare. Just push your nose forward a little bit. That's going to help me to decrease my speed. A little bit high on this approach. Going to try and get 2 white, 2 red till I'm over the runway. There we go. 2 white, 2 red. That's a better approach. Too low. Put my nose up a bit till I get 2 white, 2 red. Try and keep that till I'm over the runway. Too high. Come down in altitude a little bit. Decrease my throttle. That's all going fine. And I can see the runway now, so once I'm over it, decrease my throttle. And I'm just going to flare the aircraft. That's why it's important to start with the Cessna 172, 152. Flare the aircraft over the runway. Let it stall onto the runway, like that. Let's come off to the left here, as we've got live multiplayer on. Oh, we're in a live server. Take my flaps up as I'm braking. It's always good practice. Parking brake on, flaps up. So there you go, that's with the Cessna 152, 172. Let's jump to a more advanced aircraft. Now I could fly the DC-3. I'm going to go more advanced like that. I'm going to go into an airliner and show you the same principles in that. And so on to airliners. I'm in the 146 Professional, simply my favourite airliner in the sim, or certainly one of my favourites. Something I didn't mention before, let's just go to active pause. Actually, while we're in active pause, airliners, whatever airliner you're flying, find out what's a good approach speed. Around about this speed will be good for an approach in the 146. Now I know this from practice. I'm flying around London again. Instead of turning back to London City, I'm heading towards Heathrow Airport, which is just in the distance there, because it's got long runways, and if you're flying airliners, the longer the runway, the better. So fly again, familiar locations. I know Heathrow Airport well enough as well. I know how to get there and line up. So again, I'm flying in familiar locations. Something I didn't mention before, and it's worth mentioning. In options, go to assistance options, under failure and damage, click into that menu. I've got them enabled, but if you're having trouble, disable crash damage and stress damage. If you're practicing and you're just finding that you're crashing, That way you can just use your Y key on the keyboard and F4 to get back up in the air again if you've got crash damage disabled especially. I want them enabled. I like to keep it as realistic as possible. And I'm fairly proficient, famous last words, in landing generally. So I'm not too worried about that. Okay, so I'm going to start to bring... Heathrow Airport's not far away. So I'm just going to start to bring my speed back whilst trying to keep myself level as well. So a little bit of trim employed there as well. Bring my speed back just so I'm down to roughly the speed I want to be for coming into an approach to Heathrow Airport in this case. Do need to come to my left a little bit. Scattered cloud preset seems to be blowing me to the right, but I'm not too concerned about that. I'm in a big aircraft, so I can compensate for that easily. And another thing, I'll show you this now. Let's active pause it again. Active pause, zoom into your airport. There you see, I want to line up for 27 right, so I need to come to the left a little bit then right. So don't be afraid of using active pause, especially if you're practicing landings. I'll just get my aircraft trimmed, move my view down so I can see my speed, and goodness knows what that I need to see there. I'll just put in a notch of flaps there. Select gear down. Thank you.
Speed checked below 180. Select flaps 24.
Okay. I've got, with the 146...
Speed checked below 170. Select flaps 30.
It comes with a pilot that will, a co-pilot that will give you instructions, which is handy. It's only available on PC, I believe, at the moment.
145. Select flap 33.
Thank you. Just watch my speed there now. I'm going below the speed I want to be. So I'm just keeping an eye on my speed. Oh. It's been a while since I've flown the 146, so bear with me. Pretty much doing this with you. Just going to bring up one notch of flaps. I'm just simply too low on the speed there, and I want to be a bit quicker. That's speeding up a little bit more now, which is good.
500.
And again, just going to go to active pause, just to make sure I am lined up with that runway. Lovely. Bring my view back. Just be aware. There we go, nicely lined up. Speed's good, it's around the speed I want to be. Depending on what aircraft, what airliner you're flying, you will hopefully know your dials better than I do, depending on your aircraft. I'm only really proficient, or getting proficient in this and the Concorde currently. Just keep that approach. Probably way too low. Well, I know I'm too low on that approach to that airport, so not the best, but this is practicing. Remember, it's been a while, and I'm just going to be transparent with you, since I've flown the 146. So I'm practicing this with you. But I can still see the runway, I can still see I've got some kind of approach going on. Pappy lights will be saying I'm too low, but we can see the runway ahead of us, and I can safely land, hopefully, there. I'll watch my speed there. Another stage of flaps just to slow me down a little bit more, and that's going to slow me down quite drastically, that's okay. I'll just line up with that runway, of course, with airliners. As you're coming in to land, when we get over the runway, you need to flare so your back wheels touch down first, or your rear wheels touch down first. So there you go, and I'll do this quite often. I'll practice till I get the perfect approach. Pappy lights. Research other videos about the 146. I need to make videos on a tutorial on the 146. I do know that, and I will get around to that. There's some very professional videos. There you go. Pappy lights are coming back in. Very professional videos around for the 146. So I'm just going to follow that runway down now. Nice long runway, not too worried. See the runway right ahead of me. And I can bring my throttle back. And flare a little bit. Back wheels first. There we go. That wasn't too bad, was it? Of course, reverse thrust. And goodness knows what. Whatever you need to do there, I should simply come off.
80 knots.
Yeah, a bit too fast for that taxiway, but there's another one here. I'm too fast for this taxiway, but I'm just coming off the runway. Here we go. So there we go. So chaps, practice in whatever aircraft. Start with the starter aircraft. If you're a fan of airliners, then practice between airports you're familiar with. Research a little bit on the airliners for approach speed. Practice your landings and you should be fine. Listen, let me know if this video is of help to you. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Check other videos in my Back to Basics series with hope they'll be helping you. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon. Okay, so let's announce the winner for the January screenshot of the month. Just be aware, chaps, in February we're taking a month off from this screenshot of the month compo. Just to build up hype, give us all time to rest and breathe. You can still post screenshots and screenshots of the month, but there'll be no prize for February. But in March, I want you all to come back with a vengeance. Let's start off with TPHI. Lovely picture there. I'll be coming back to that one later. Suitman posted a couple of car videos there. These must be from Car Simulator, Old Gunner was saying. Yeah, we won't include them, I'm afraid. Marcus, lovely pictures here. Fantastic. Thanks for entering again. Disco Dave and the 172, I believe, isn't it, my friend? Lovely pictures. He's got more. HBNAM. Now, is that correct? HBNAM? Let me know in the comments if not. Fantastic picture there. Another one I'll be coming back to later. Suitman did quite a few pictures, which is lovely again. Good to see. Come and peruse these for yourself. I won't mention every single one. Disco Dave. Fantastic picture there of the 172. Really like that one. We've got one from there. HBNAM again there. Tony Dark Zero there. Lovely. Tony Dark Zero with Old Gunner. I really like this one. Really like that picture. I'll come back to that later. Marcus again with a lovely picture there. Fantastic. Kevin. Always enjoy saying that. Thanks for entering there. Suitman again. Some lovely pictures. As you can see, I won't go through every single one, but come and peruse these for yourself. Let's just get down to a couple more that I like. Disco Dave doing his obligatory DC3 picture. Thanks for that, Disco Dave. Soapy, thanks for entering. Lovely picture there. Recent community flight we did near the pyramids of Giza there. Disco Dave again, lovely. And we got one down here from Rossin. Fantastic picture again, Rossin. Okay, let's go to my selection. So, I believe this is from TPH. I really like that with the snow covering there, the front of the aircraft. Lovely picture. HBNAM, lovely picture there of the King Air. Really, really like that picture. So evocative. Disco Dave in that 172. Lovely picture. I did say with Tony Dark Zero, I'll come back to that picture. That is beautiful, isn't it? Isn't it beautiful looking over the wing of the Spitfires there, the Spits? And you've got Old Gunner in tow. And Rossin with that fantastic picture. Gonna go with my gut again, guys. HBNAM. With your picture here of the King Air and those lovely reflections in the background. I just really, really like this screenshot. So you're my winner. I'll be forwarding you hopefully an Amazon voucher worth £15, whatever that will be in your currency. Hit me up in Discord with, well, I'll be messaging you in Discord so I can get that price to you. So remember, chaps, for February, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's get to there. For February, there will be no screenshots of the month, but in March, there will be. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the video like I mentioned before, and I'll see you soon.